Hello, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about how when you move on from the narcissist, their struggle is about to get very real. And when they're with you, you don't see their struggle so much. I mean, they make their struggle your struggle. So you're left to pick up the pieces for them. But when you leave them, when you move on, it's about to get real. And yet many of you, you may not see it, especially initially, because they're still going to try and make it your problem. It's always going to be your problem, your fault, your responsibility. It's always going to be some limitation or restriction that you have to deal with, when really they're just putting it onto you. And it's really something that belongs to them. It's based on their issues. But it's funny, because they've been devaluing you for a very long time. For a long time, they've been making it out like there was something wrong with you. You weren't good enough for them. And as though you had to do better to get the result or the effect that you wanted from them. Really what they made you believe that they were in the beginning, initially. And what you expected from them. Now suddenly you have to earn it. You have to chase after it to get that from them. But this is the crazy thing about it. The truth is, you never needed the narcissist. They were never going to be or do anything for you. They always needed you. And that's how you were their source of supply. While you were getting the bare minimum or really nothing back from them in return. Despite everything that you were putting out. Despite everything that you were giving to them. Now let's talk about what you did, what you gave as a source of supply. You gave them your constant and undivided attention. You were very attentive towards them. You provided them with validation, admiration for their false image. You made them feel alive. You made them feel like it was real. Like they were something powerful, desirable, attractive. You gave them a sense of control, money, resources. Maybe sexual favors as well. You gave all of this to them. And yet you didn't get back in return what you wanted. So essentially, you were stolen from, you were robbed. And yet they managed to twist it around on you and make you believe like you were actually the one who needed them all along. This is what they do. They brainwash you. They gaslight you. They never had anything to give to you. They never had any love. They never had anything that could empower you, that could give you a sense of stability or control, which is the funny thing about it, because you had that before you got involved with them. You were already steady and stable. You were already at peace. But they made it out like there was a problem with you that they could come in and help you with, that they could fix. And that's how a lot of these individuals get in. By seeing something wrong with you. Getting you to focus on it and making you think that they can be this helper, this rescuer. Or sometimes they play the victim. They act like they need your sympathy or support. This is how they do it. When really, they envy you and they're looking at what you've got and just figuring out how they're going to take it from you. And that's how you become their source of supply. You were this person who was just providing everything to them to make themselves feel better. Like you are not getting what you deserve in return. But that is clear because That's how what they're giving back to you, it doesn't sustain the relationship. It doesn't keep it going to where it needs to go. It doesn't get it there. They always fall short. They can't take care of you the way that you can take care of them. You can boost them up. You can feed their ego, make them feel special, important, on top of the world. You can do that for them, but they cannot do that for you because they haven't got it to give. And that's the whole point of why they talented you. They needed a lifeline, a savior, a rescuer, someone who was going to be there for them. And that's how you know that you never needed them. Because how could you ever need someone who can't take care of themselves? Whether it's emotionally or financially. Someone like that is never going to be someone who you can depend on to give or provide anything to you. And this is it. They're never going to be self-sustaining because the image you see from them, it isn't even real. They do not want to accept that it isn't real. They want to continue playing pretend because they're just trying to feed their ego and get supply. So it's never going to be real. No matter how much you pour into them, that goes into the false self, not who they really are. They disown that part of themselves. And that's how you know that it's really just a recipe for disaster. They're really just setting themselves up for failure. There's nowhere else that this can go. It can only ever go down for them. Because there is no person, no supply that will ever be able to sustain them. And really, you were their best shot. You were the best chance. You gave it all. You sacrificed everything for them. You gave them things that most people, their family, their friends, other sources, would never do for them. And that's why they took it from you. Because no one else was going to do that for them. And that's why they were in such a hurry, in such a rush to get that from you. Because they knew they weren't going to get that anywhere else. That's why they were all over you like a rash. Because they knew this is it. This is their best shot, their best chance. The problem is that they did not qualify to be with you. They were not fit for that relationship. So all they could do was drain it, destroy it. And that's why that's exactly what they did. They're like termites of a relationship. The way it did. Because that's all that they can do. Well, as for you, you were doing everything you could to sustain it, to keep it going. You were trying to sustain the relationship, which was really just entirely one-sided. It was all about them. They were taking everything and also just destroying the relationship. Because it's all out of envy. You know, they're constantly extracting from you. And all the while, they're trying to cut that rope, sever the tie, so that they get away with everything they've taken from you. And then they can individuate, separate, and not have to give anything back in return. That's what they want it to be. And that's how gradually, inevitably, the source of supply will always be destroyed in the end. They can only run you down. They can't lift you up. They can't keep you at the same level. They can only bring you down. That's the only thing that they can do. Is confuse, debilitate, destabilize you. That's the only way that it can go. It can't end up any other way.